Hello there, my name is Jason Perkins. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. I'm an attorney who specializes in Georgia workers' compensation cases. I created this series of videos because I want to provide people who've been hurt at work with helpful information about Georgia's workers' compensation law and the benefits available to them under that. Today, I want to talk to you about whether workers' compensation can stop paying you your weekly checks. Before we get into that, it's important to talk about the different types of workers' compensation weekly checks that there are under Georgia's law. There's three different types. Two of them are wage loss benefits, temporary total or temporary partial disability. Those benefits are paid to you if you're out of work as a result of your injury or making less money as a result of your injury. The third type of benefit is not a wage loss benefit. It's something called permanent partial disability benefits. And it's something that workers' compensation ends up paying to you if your doctor gives you a permanent partial disability rating as a result of your injury. Now, whether your workers' compensation checks can stop will depend on what type of benefits you're receiving. So let's focus first on the wage loss benefits, temporary total and temporary partial disability. There are a few circumstances where the insurance company can stop paying you checks. One of them is if you return to work making as much money as you were before you got hurt. If you're making as much money or more as you were before you got hurt, and you go back to work earning that, then you're not entitled to wage loss benefits anymore because you're not losing any money as a result of your injury. If you're making less money than you were before you got hurt, you may be entitled to temporary partial disability benefits for those reduced earnings. That would be the case if you're able to work less hours as a result of your injury, or you're having to do a different job that doesn't pay you as much as you made before, light duty type work, because of your injury. Second reason your workers' compensation checks can stop is if your doctor says you can return to full duty work without restrictions as a result of your injury. If your authorized treating physician under workers' compensation says this, the insurance company is entitled to stop your checks because you can't be losing money as a result of your injury if you're 100% better. The third reason your checks can stop is if you hit the limits for how long you can draw workers' compensation benefits. Those time limits usually don't kick in until a number of years down the road, 350 or 400 weeks from when your injury occurred. That's basically 6.5 or 7.5 years. So you don't have to worry about that if it's been not a long time since your injury occurred. But if some time has passed, you may have to start worrying about those time limits. There are exceptions to those time limits if your case qualifies for what's called a catastrophic designation. Let's talk about permanent partial disability checks. Permanent partial disability is something you receive if you have a permanent impairment as a result of your injury. Your doctor will give you a permanent partial disability rating, and the rating the doctor gives you is going to entitle you to a certain number of weeks of checks. It's determined by how high the rating is and what body part the doctor rates you to. I've talked about the exact way to calculate that in other videos in this series, so I'm not going to cover that now. If your checks do stop, you should always question whether they should have stopped or not. The insurance companies will often stop checks when they shouldn't do so. So if your checks had stopped, the best things to do is talk to a workers' compensation attorney to find out if they should have stopped in this situation or not. If there's anything that you can do to get them restarted if they should not have stopped. Hope you found this information about whether workers' compensation can stop your checks helpful. If you have, please let me know that. One of the best ways you can do that is by liking this video or giving it a thumbs up. If your checks have stopped, if you've got other questions about workers' compensation law in Georgia, I'd encourage you to reach out and schedule a free consultation. There's two easy ways you can schedule a consultation with me about your case. The first is by calling the phone number at the bottom of the screen, and the other is by reaching out to us through our website, which is www.perkinslawtalk.com, and clicking on and submitting the free consultation request form, and a member of our team will reach out to you and schedule a consultation. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video today. I want to wish you the best of luck as you recover from your injury.